Topic: From gathering to growing food. Varieties of food. Food comes from plants and animals. Plants give us fruits, vegetables, grains and pulses. Animals give us meat and milk. Beginning of farming. As the world's climate changed, people started including plants and animals in their food. They started observing the places where these edible plants were found and how they grew. They started protecting plants and trees from birds and animals, so they could grow and seeds could ripen. In this way people became farmers. Beginning of herding. People were attracted towards tamer animals and left food for them near their shelters. Dogs were the first tamed animals. Later, people protected and encouraged animals such as sheep, goats, cattle and pigs that were relatively gentle to come near the camps where they lived. In this way they became herders. A typical herd. Domestication. Domestication is a gradual process that began about 12,000 years ago. In this process people grew plants and looked after animals. For domestication, people selected only those plants, such as wheat and barley, and animals, such as sheep and goats, which were not prone to any disease, yield large-size grain, have strong stalks and are capable of bearing the weight of the ripe grain. As a result, domesticated plants and animals became different from wild plants and animals. A new way of life. When people began growing plants, they had to stay in the same place till the grain ripened. After that, the grain had to be preserved, stored and used carefully. They began making large clay pots, wove baskets or dug pits into the ground for storing the grain and seeds. Towards a new and settled life. Archaeologists have found traces of huts or pit houses, cooking hearths, tools and pots which were dug into the ground. Huts. These huts may provide shelter in cold weather. Cooking hearths, according to hot and cold weather. People cooked their food in cooking hearths either outdoors or indoors respectively. Tools. Polished tools with fine cutting edge made of stone and bones which are used for grinding grain. These tools are called Neolithic because they were different from the Paleolithic tools. Pots. Pots were decorated and were used for cooking and storing things. Customs and practices. Farmers and herders live in groups called tribes and follow certain customs and practices. Tribes. Groups of family that are related to one another form a tribe. Tribes have rich and unique cultural traditions. They also have their own gods and goddesses. Old and experienced men are regarded as leaders in tribes. Mehrgarh. Mehrgarh is one of the earliest villages located in a fertile plain where men and women learned to grow barley and wheat, and rear sheep and goats for the first time. Archaeologists found evidences of wild animals such as the deer, sheep, cattle, pit and goat bones and remains of square or rectangular houses with 4 or more compartments which may have been used for storage. When people die, relatives and friends pay respect to them. Some eatables are also buried with them as food for the next world because they believe that there is some form of life after death. Dojali Hading. Dojali Hading is located on the hills near the Brahmaputra Valley. Grains were grown and prepared by the people of Dojali Hading. Tools that are made of stone, including mortars and pestles. Fossilized wood that has hardened into stone. Pottery and jadeite, a stone brought from China, have been found in Dojali Hading.